My name's Rita Fleming. For those of you that don't know me, excited to be one of the hosts for our ULT support call. So, this call is specifically for those that are doing your ultimate lifestyle transformation or continuing on that transformation and working, to support you in your health goals. So, I'd love to hear any wins, takeaways, recipes that you're loving. If you've been journaling your process, I just would love to hear some either physical or emotional wins and takeaways. Thanks everybody for being here. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Rita. Oh, so I just got back in town. Um, I was on an amazing retreat in California. It was beautiful, wonderful. And then I was home for 4 days and then went to Texas for 5 days. So I've been traveling a lot. And we can all, depending on where everyone is in their journey, we can kind of ebb and flow and go in and out of our process. And it's in layers. We know that. But it's so nice to travel with nutrient dense food because you never know like where you're going to end up, what stores are going to be nearby. And so that is like such a win for me. I got rid of almost completely got rid of chronic migraines with the power of regenerative health and this nutrition and really staying consistent with it. But traveling with it is like it's such a gift. So my recommendation for everyone else is like keep some in your car, keep it in your purse, but just plan to take it with you because it's just such life-giving food and we need it. And so I stopped drinking alcohol years ago, but I would wake up, we'd go out with the friends and people from the company, and I would wake up feeling just so great, but then adding my superfoods in, everyone's like nursing their hangovers and stuff. I'm like, I feel amazing. Do you guys want some? So big wins, but I just wanted to share that.
Oh, that's huge. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, drop a one in the comments if you can relate, if you've had these superfoods while traveling. Thanks so much for sharing that win. And I agree, I've taken these superfoods everywhere from expeditions, supboarding around Barbuda to Hawaii to just traveling, road trips. And it saves me so much time and energy, and it makes me feel so good. And I can feel the difference when I don't have them. And I was just at a big conference this weekend as well, and it just kept me so energized and mentally clear. And everyone else at the conference was like bonking and exhausted. And Mary and I were at it together, and we were just so energized. So I love it. Thank you. I'd love to hear some more wins, or if you have a question, Katie.
No,
Okay.
I wanted to listen in and just, yeah, encourage. I mean, everybody's, like I said, in a different place in their journey, but just choosing, every day is a choice. And it's not like, okay, this is your plan for the next 10 years. It's like, this is your plan today. And then tomorrow, make a decision on what's going to suit your body, listen to your body. And that's really the goal is what's my body saying? Is it sharing, symptoms with me? Let me tune into what's going on. And I think that's such a gift with what we have here is it's really amazing. So yeah, just all good stuff.
Love that, Katie. And I'll call on you in one second, Christina. I just want to speak to that a little bit deeper, the power of tuning into our bodies. And what I've found throughout this process is the cleaner we get, the clearer we get, the more nutrient dense our food is, the more that our cells just come to life and those cravings start to go away. And so, all of us are here on a different journey. Some of us are just adding the superfoods in. We're not really making any lifestyle changes. Others of us are going much deeper, and some are going more with, the regenerative process of adding in more fruits. And I would say listen to your body. There's going to be times when your brain and your nervous system and your endocrine system are all working on regenerating, where your lymphatic system is cleansing. And that's when our body will naturally crave more fresh fruits. So just listen to your body and tune in and see what you want. And then there'll be times when we're rebuilding our tissue and our bone and our connective tissue and strengthening our muscle. And that will be when we're craving more of the dark greens and, mineral rich foods. So, and those aminos. So, your every day does not have to look the same, but having that grace with yourself and tuning in, like, what does my body really want today or this week? And depending on what your body is working on, A, either eliminating or B, regenerating, your body will want different things. So I love that. And learning how to listen to our bodies is so empowering versus being told from outside of us what we need, because none of us can say what we need, from outside of us. It's such an internal process that changes based on what your body's going through. So yay. Christina, go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Rita, for hosting, and good to see
Good
you.
to see
Uh,
you.
I could go on forever, but I have just an add-on question on the traveling part, and I was wondering if yourself or anyone here on the call have any experience of traveling with the superfoods on an airplane, especially international. If any tips on where to put it in the carry-on or in the stowaway luggage that goes in the belly of the plane. So that's my one first question.
Yeah, I travel with them internationally all the time, and you can put it either. I like to put it in a double Ziploc baggie, because oftentimes I'm going to places where there's a lot of humidity, or because of the pressure change, sometimes things can burst. So I just put it in kind of a double baggie of some sort. And that way, if anything does spill, it's fine and it's good. And then if you are going to a place with more humidity, that will preserve your superfoods.
Okay. So no issue with, because, being like, oh, you can't bring this food, because it's like when you're, especially internationally, coming back to the States, you always have to fill out the piece of paper.
Mhm. Yeah, no problem, because it is something that's packaged and it's not something that's grown there, and it is processed. So, just through the dehydration process. So it's not like there's
Right.
living soil, which is usually the concern. The only thing that you have to worry about is the apothecary, because it is a liquid. So you'd have to check that.
Okay, so just check that one. That's a good point, actually. The and I agree with the traveling in general. What Katie just said, I echo everything. It's been actually more easy to travel and sustain energy on the road for sure. Um, my question is about healthy eyes. So got a chance to try carrot. I forget the name of it right now, but yeah, any particular protocols to regenerate healthy eyes again? I want to get, even
Mm.
though I love these glasses, I don't want them to be prescription and just decorative instead.
Oh, I love that question. So yeah, the Carrot Juice Plus is amazing for eye health. The Super Xanthan is also really good for eye health. I love the Reviva-All, which is for brain and nervous system regeneration. And it also helps to create that circulation, in the brain, and start to clean up some of the lymphatic system in the head region. So I like that combination, Reviva-All, Super Xanthan, and Carrot Juice Plus. And then, anytime we're working on cleaning up our lymphatic system, which is going to be specifically your biofruit and your tart cherry juice, are amazing for that. Anytime we're cleaning up the lymphatic system, that's what results in that deeper level of regeneration of all of our tissues. So, our tissues, whether we're talking about our eyes or our glands or our thyroid or our liver, cleaning up the lymphatic system gives the body the nourishment that it needs and the circulation that it needs to those organs and glands and tissues. And that's what creates that regeneration. So,
Super.
and exercise, and then there's always an emotional component, always, always. So what I do to work with that personally is body scanning. So I'll just put my awareness like on my feet. Do I feel any warmth or tingling? And I'll just scan up to my knees, to my hips, to my pelvis, to my chest, to my head. And you'll be amazed. We store so many emotions in our body, and they show up as sensations. So you might just be like, oh, I have a little bit of pain in my right shoulder. And the idea of body scanning is you're just observing the pain, you're just witnessing it, and then it will pass. And then, wow, I have some tingling in my heart, and you just observe it. Or, wow, I have some coldness in my diaphragm. And that's an amazing way to start releasing and processing and letting go of emotions. You don't have to know what the emotion is, you don't have to know the story behind it, but it's just simply giving your attention to different parts of the body, and also giving your love to different parts of the body. So, say you have like as you really tune into the body, we hold so many sensations, and one can be like a sinking, pit in your stomach, and then you can just say like, wow, I'm going to just love that sensation. Even if it's an uncomfortable sensation, I'm just going to love it and acknowledge it and appreciate for the wisdom that is there. And it's such a powerful practice. It's really transformed my life in many ways. But there's always an emotional component. So I would also work with that. And that's going to support, every aspect.
That's a really, really beautiful tip to keep in mind, and it's very easy to do, just to observe it, to allow it to be seen, and
Yeah.
work with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a great way to bring more presence to our body, so if we're in conversation with somebody, sometimes, we aren't as present as we can be. So that body scanning also helps you to be more present, not only to yourself, but to others. So it just can be useful tip for, anything that you're doing. You could be chopping up veggies and you could be practicing the body scanning.
Oh, yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you for that. My last question in this moment is perhaps just your perspective on, I'm doing, this is now my third ULT plus immune,
Awesome.
and I have so many wins for sure, but more the question is, I'm feeling I would love to add the dark berry protein collagen build. I don't know if it's too much, because I'm already having so much goodness in the ULT and the amino 23 and everything else, but I don't know, is there such a thing as too much, or
There's
you
no
know?
such thing. It's all, oh my gosh, we were just with Dave, and for those of you that don't know Dave, he's the owner and the formulator. And to hear his vision firsthand was so powerful. The way that he picks his farms, you guys, it has to be in a virgin area that's never been farmed before. Next, it has to be at a certain elevation, because the plants have the most medicinal properties and adaptogenic properties at certain elevations. So if the plant is going through extreme heat and extreme cold, it actually builds resilience and adaptogens that help it to survive. And then that helps our body to overcome stress and become more resilient. So that's amazing. And then apart from that, it also has to be in a basin where all the minerals are moving into. And 80% of our superfoods are grown on our farm in Utah, and that's 96 feet deep of topsoil, which is completely unheard of. I've never heard of that. And that's why, when you have your superfoods, you start to, I know for me, I eat 2/3 less when I have my superfoods, because I feel so nourished compared to what I used to eat when I didn't feel nourished and I felt depleted. And that's due to that nutrient density. So most people are walking around undernourished and overtoxic. And so with these superfoods, you can add in as many of them as you want, the variety that you want, and it's just going to support, those adaptogenic properties and support that nutrient density and that alkalinity. And, all of the plants produce that alkaline environment in the body, which is going to oxygenate and give the cells the energy that they need to regenerate. So I love the collagen pack that comes with, the dark berry and the hair, skin, and nails renew, which that combination is brilliant, because our body doesn't actually produce collagen by taking collagen. It produces collagen because it has the proper proteins and it has the proper minerals and silica and vitamins and nutrients. And so that pack has all of that combined. And I take the hair, skin, and nails because in my family, there's a parathyroid weakness. So that results in, scoliosis or varicose veins or wrinkly skin or prolapsed organs. And I find that the hair, skin, and nail has the herbs that really support the bone and connective tissue.
Wow, this is, thank you for going into that summary of just reminding us of how brilliantly these superfoods are grown. It never gets old.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing.
the surprising tidbit you just offer here at the end was because I have a much better version of scoliosis. I'm being mindful how I say it because it's not my scoliosis, it's just, and I've healed a lot from it. Chiropractic care helps a lot.
Mhm.
But you're saying the collagen pack helps with so, straightening out that additional curvature and stuff.
Yeah, it is very supportive of our connective tissue, which also holds our spine in place. And I know a lot of you, some of you know my story, some of you don't, but I broke 16 bones in a car accident. I broke my spine off. I broke my spine in 8 places, off in five. And the specialist told me that they'd never seen anybody survive those breaks before. And I had, from those injuries, severe scoliosis. One, my spine was pulled over to the left, very far. And then on the other, the right side of my spine, it was like there was no musculature at all. And then the left side of the spine was built up massively, like overcompensating. And these last few years that I've been taking these superfoods, my spine has just straightened and balanced and evenly toned. So that is that power of nutrient dense foods and of giving your body and your cells what they need, because the body wants to be healthy, and the body is amazing and it's going to correct itself if it's given that proper environment. And that collagen pack is just like the next level of support of that.
To allow somebody else to have a question asked, I will pocket it for another time, but basically I was thinking the dark berry could be my third meal of the day if I want to just go a few days without eating any, even raw veggies, just wanted to, on the go especially. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And you're going to get your proteins and you're going to get your nutrients and your phytonutrients and your berries. And also, what's kind of nice is sometimes when we are just having those liquids, it gives your digestion a break, which also gives you extra energy to go towards cellular repair.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So it's basically a form of fasting without depletion. You're, taking a pause on a lot of that digestive process, yet you're getting nourished and rebuilding at the same time and energizing at the same time. So it's a really neat combo. Awesome. Let's see. I'm not sure who had their hand up next. Julie, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. Hi, Rita. Um,
Hi.
hi. I have a question. I have a customer who is asking about the aminos. Her daughter's been taking them for a couple months, and I was explaining to her that all of our supplements are whole food supplements, that they're not made in a lab. There's no isolates. And then her question was, well, how are they not made in a lab? And I didn't know how to answer that.
Yeah, so it's not, a chemical process. Let me just make sure everybody's muted. Everyone could mute yourselves, please. Okay. So the process of the amino acids is they are air pressed, and that's why they're in that form. So they're air
Oh,
pressed, and that
okay.
makes them easily digestible. They're also, pre-digested. So they are a legume that is pre-digested, and that way it's easily absorbable by the body.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's really unique. It's air pressed, whereas other capsules that are kind of like in that capsule form, a lot of those are like synthetically, held together through chemicals and other processes that are not the best for the body. But again, Dave and Amy take every consideration into making it the highest quality and purity. And so they do an air pressure to make it
Okay,
form.
amazing. So how is it pre-digested? Like,
I don't know the whole process. It's something that Dave has formulated, and he just, it's kind of trademarked. And so he just wants to keep it
sure,
in that fashion. But basically, it's just amino acids, which are, your protein is like your complex protein, and then your amino acids are pre-digested. And so I don't know what his full process is, but it just makes it easier for the body to
sure,
absorb.
sure. So it goes directly into the bloodstream and into the bones and the connective tissue, right?
Yes,
Okay,
within 23 minutes, it's
amazing.
absorbed.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
And
Thanks for
utilized.
explaining.
And what's really neat is, most proteins that we're eating, whether it's plant-based or animal-based, we're only absorbing 11 to 36% on average, whereas the amino acids are 99.9% bioavailable. So again, they're being absorbed straight into your body and your connective tissue.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's going to take the burden off of your liver, off of your other digestive organs, off of your kidneys. So that's why I really love it, because oftentimes complex proteins, again, your body's only absorbing a little bit, and then your lymphatic system, your kidneys have to eliminate those undigested proteins, which is oftentimes 70% of what we're eating. Whereas this, we don't have that excess waste that the body has to then eliminate.
Sure, sure. And it's like 25 or 30, it's equivalent to 25 or 30 grams of protein, right? Like 5 of the aminos,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And I guess my other question that comes up too is, I know we've talked about in Carrie's video, she's mentioned how the body can only process 8 to 10 grams of protein in one sitting. So is it because this is bioavailable that we are able to absorb and benefit from all of those grams of protein in one
Mhm.
at one time? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And those are the building blocks, right? Our amino acids are our building blocks. And so within my first couple of months of doing the transformation and doing the aminos, that's when my spine started to straighten out, and I started to lose that scoliosis and curvature, and that strength started to come in because I was getting what I needed. And the other thing is, our plants, because this is so crazy, but only 1% of our soils are organic in the United States. And then a very small percentage of those are actually nutrient dense in the ways that we're working, So the superfoods that we're working with are like 0.002% of, they're just of their quality and purity and potency of what's available out there. So most of us are not getting the amino acids that we need, or the proteins that we need, because glyphosate actually stops our absorption of our essential amino acids. So again, having an absorbable form where we're getting what we need is extra important, because we're not getting it from our food system.
Sure, sure. And so when you started taking those amino acids and your spine started regenerating, how many were you taking a day?
I was taking it 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay.
Again, just kind of intuitively. And if I was like exercising or working out, I would add more in pre-workout and post-workout. But
Sure.
again, I was very just, what does my body need? What does my body need today? And it would be a little bit different day to day.
Okay.
Mhm.
Amazing. I love your story.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. And it looks like I have time for one more question. Lori.
Hey Rita, thank you for taking this. It's about a customer of mine. She did want to share her blood work. So her vitamin D and B12 levels are super low.
Mhm.
So, and she's doing the ULT kids and the B energetic and the zinc aid. And so what they should do, so she's going to get prescription level vitamin D B12 injections, or under her tongue, she's going to do the B complex.
Yeah, I mean, I would work with her doctor on this, and a lot of the time we're not absorbing our minerals or our vitamins or our nutrients because, for instance, our liver is over toxic or congested. And so like the green spectrum is going to start to clean up the body, clean up the liver. Um, and so really, the idea of what we can support here is um, detoxing gently and nourishing deeply, and trying to get that nourishment from, as many whole foods as possible. And I love the zinc aid like you're doing, just because it's easily absorbable. All the things we're working with are easily absorbable, but there's usually a deeper reason as to why they're not absorbing that. B12 comes down to our gut microbiome diversity. So the superfoods really support that healthy biodiversity in our gut microbiome of healthy organisms. And when you have a healthy gut, you actually produce your own B12. And again, this might take a long time. So people need to, supplement and add it in. The Power Shake does have a lot of B12 in it. So I would just focus on alkalizing so that her body can detox, so that she can absorb all of these nutrients. And it's always internal terrain, and it, usually takes 90 days just to deliver somebody to those greater results. So it took me 90 days before I checked into a level of health that I hadn't been in for 15 years, and a level of athleticism. So carry them through those 90 days where their body can start to absorb more. And then they can work, specifically with their doctors in the ways that they need to.
Okay, and she is working with a doctor, and he said that that lupus is showing up as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are, a lot of regenerative specialists that have been able to work through that, but it's going to be more of an intensive protocol. So I would just kind of work one-on-one or connect her in that way. Yeah, because that's going to be a deeper, longer process that requires not only the nutrition, but specific herbs as well.
Thank you, Rita. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We have 1 minute. I know Carrie has a call starting. Oh, starting now. So, love you all. We are here every single week. So, come ask questions, bring your customers, and we're here to support. Again, this is a co creative, safe space to learn from each other. So, love you all. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, we never have